Hey guys, Robert Scott here with Scott and Wallace. Welcome to In the Office with Scott and Wallace. Of course, this is every Tuesday at 2. The week's been very energetic and happening around here. We've had a lot of good new clients hire us, and we're excited to be representing them. Just a reminder, we handle both personal injury and wrongful death cases, as well as employment and employment discrimination cases and workers' compensation cases. So if at any point today anyone has any questions about any of those practice areas, feel free to chime in. We're also excited. You may have seen that we have added another lawyer to our firm, Matthew MacNamara, local Tallahassean. We're very excited to have Matt, and we're going to use this as our opportunity to introduce Matt today. I know Clint is with Matt in the conference room, so I'm going to take y'all in there and allow Matt to introduce himself and say hello to Clint as well.
All right, good afternoon. Thanks for tuning in today.
Thanks, Robert.
As Robert said, we've got Matt MacNamara. He's the lead attorney in our Labor and Employment Law and Workers' Comp Division. We're real excited he's on board. Matt, why don't you tell the viewers a little bit about where you're from?
I'm actually a Tallahassee local, born and raised here. Went to Leon High School, then Florida State for undergraduate. Got my degree in marketing, and then carried on at Florida State University College of Law and take my GD from there.
Are you a Noel, Matt?
I am very much a Noel. I am.
What do you think about the football season coming up?
It's gonna be a good season, and I'm a full-on believer in Coach Swaggart and everything that's gonna come along with it. So, in addition to being a local, I am a diehard Seminole.
Okay.
But happy to represent Gators and Miami Hurricanes as well, right?
If they come in, then yes, I will put my love for the Noles aside.
You do not discriminate against them.
I do not.
All right. So one of the reasons we like having Matt here is he has experience on both sides of the issue. Our firm is a plaintiff's firm. We represent people who have been injured by other people's negligence or represent people who have been discriminated against in employment situations. Matt has worked on the defense side of those types of cases too, which gives him valuable insight that helps him add value to his clients' cases. Matt, why don't you tell us a little bit about general types of employment law cases that people call us about?
Some general claims that come in are types of discrimination claims. For instance, if you are working for a company and they terminate you based on your gender or your race or some other protected class of class, then those kind of claims are generally the type of employment claims that we see come through the door. While firing an individual because you don't get along with them or there's maybe some tension in the workplace wouldn't give rise to a claim, it's when your termination is based on some other characteristic that you can't control. Those are kind of standard employment claims.
Matt, we just got a question. One of the viewers wanted to know why you wanted to be a member of Scott and Wallace, or what attracted you to our law firm.
Well, I was actually fortunate enough to meet Rob and Clint a while ago when I was still in law school, kind of beginning my legal career, and I was attracted to not only the type of guys they are, but they're great guys to be around and very positive attitudes. I know how professional they are, and kind of watching Scott and Wallace start from day one. Actually, before I think I was in law school, I remember seeing y'all's commercials. And to see what it is today just confirmed the type of guys that you are and the type of work that you do to still be around and kind of having the business that you have now.
Okay.
And we didn't pay him to say that.
No.
And just on a note, that was a viewer question. If you have a question, please type it in. You can see me scrolling on the camera as we're doing this, so I can read the questions that come up. Flipping the camera here.
Trying some stuff out.
Yeah, just so that way they can see you.
Were they not able to see us?
Here we go.
Okay.
In case you're wondering,
Thanks
this
for
is a
putting
live show.
All right. After a brief technical difficulty, we're back. Matt, you talked about some of the constitutional reasons that people get discriminated against. Can you hit on that? What type of ways are people discriminated against that are protected?
Both federal and state law here in Florida will protect individuals based on their gender, their race, their sexual orientation, their age, disability, really characteristics of an individual that they don't have control over, and that we wouldn't as a society want somebody discriminating against. Again, there are times when employers employees don't get along, and maybe those don't give rise to a claim. But if you don't get along with somebody based on their gender or their race or some other characteristic, then that's not right, and that's not how an employee should be treated.
Okay, sure. All right. Well,
I saw we have a question here. Where did you practice before? Thank you for the question, Tina. I started my legal career at Coppins Monroe, which is a law firm here in town that handles employment defense as a portion of their practice. I was fortunate to work alongside some really, really great attorneys up there who are very, very good at their job. And after I worked with Coppins Monroe, I actually worked with the Florida House of Representatives for 2 years, working in their Judiciary Committee and getting to do a little smorgasbord of everything over there. So that's kind of my legal background, mixed in there with some plaintiff's work and employment prior to joining the House, just on a contract basis, and kind of rounds out my two sides of employment law.
okay. Matt, if somebody thinks that they're being discriminated against at work, what should they do?
If somebody's being discriminated against in their workplace, if they've not been terminated necessarily, but they're undergoing some harassment of some sort, always check your employee handbook. Hopefully, most all businesses have in place some form of a process to address these issues, so those practices are no longer occurring. In fact, for many lawsuits, that is something that our law would like to see utilized prior to bringing a lawsuit. If the harassment continues despite your efforts to resolve it, or if you're terminated due to not giving in to necessarily the harassment, then that's when legal action kind of comes into play. And even again there's a chance for